Welcome to another episode of the Plutus Awards Podcast. Our community is filled with hundreds of stories from creators and entrepreneurs just like you. And through this show, we share these stories of challenges and successes from bloggers to podcasters, from writers, speakers, and more. I'm your host, Michelle Jackson. Today's guest is Patrina Dixon, the It's My Money Lady. We talk about the impact that COVID had on her business and the unexpected opportunities for growth that occurred from pivots that she had to make during that time. We discussed why she loves affiliate marketing, what it is and what it isn't, and how her community guides her business decisions. I hope you enjoy this show. Patrina, could you do me a favor and introduce who you are and what you do to the audience?
Absolutely. My name is Patrina Dixon. I'm known across the social streets as the It's My Money Lady. It's My Money is my trademark brand in the financial space. I teach people how to live better lives by managing the fundamentals of finances. I do that by way of workshops in person and virtually, as well as through my courses and my books.
How did you even get into this? What was the thing that got you into the personal finance space?
I was one who had my finances all jacked up, and not because I didn't make a lot of money. It's just that I spent a lot of money and I was not educated on how to do money differently. So I made a lot. I spent a lot. I owned things like I had my own home, my own car. I paid for my daughter for schooling she was receiving, but I didn't know really how to be a better steward of my money. So once I learned that, now several years ago, I wanted to go out and teach everybody how to do that. So that's how I got in, because I started getting my things together. It started being a little bit more evident to folks just by the way that I was doing things and how I was talking about it. And I would get a lot of questions about various different things. And I'm like, folks are asking things, let me monetize the information that I have. And then my world got opened up to personal finance once I attended a conference that someone shared with me. And when that happened and I saw so many different people in the personal finance space, I knew I was in my happy place.
Was there like a make or break moment that got you to change your financial trajectory? Or was it just one of those things where you were like, this is getting on my nerves and I need to change it?
It's the latter. This was getting on my nerves and I needed to change it because, like I said, I had my home, I was paying my mortgage. I had a lot of credit cards and paid them. Some I paid, some I did not. In my mind, and probably others, I was doing okay, right? But I really was not, because if one direct deposit from my employer did not go into my checking account, things would have just blown up. And I was tired of living that way. And I started watching others. I started becoming a student of personal finance. And that was to get my stuff in order before I became what I do now.
So this whole season on the show, we're really talking about that tension of monetizing a personal finance brand. And I'm curious about what it was like to start creating content. And then did you have a moment where you're like, this is a lot of work, I need to monetize? Or did you go into it with the idea that you would monetize? In my case, I never intended initially to monetize what I was doing. I was really sharing my story. And then over time, I was just like, this seems strange not to earn money given the amount of time that I'm putting into this project. Could you talk about making the decision to make money with your brand? And were there any concerns that you had about the process?
I did not go into it to make money. But I knew that one day I wanted to own my own business, and the two just kind of came together naturally. Like I went around teaching. I first started with teaching high school students, and then I just had an upward trajectory once I started doing that by speaking, going to speaking engagements and traveling across the world doing so, because I've gone as far as Trinidad and Tobago in different types of organizations, et cetera. So I did not start out that way. I knew I wanted to own my own business. I didn't know personal finance education would be it. And again, it just naturally came together as I had my aha moment. And then I had what I call that, I made that observation and I thought it was my obligation, or one of many that's doing it today, obligations to make a difference with our folks across the world to be better stewards of their money. So as I started doing more, and what I mean by doing more, courses wasn't it at first. It was Patrina going out, talking about personal finance, Patrina being asked to come into a room to talk about personal finance. And then when I wrote my first book, so I started my business March of 2016. My first book didn't come out until September of 2016. That's really when my business took off, because the book came out, again, geared towards youth. And then people started asking me to come and talk about it more. And I'm like, So it was like the business, help people one-on-one, started March of 2016. And then I said, okay, I also want to focus on our youth, because if I had known what I know now, and as well as the clients I was working with at the time, we would all be at a better place. So that's why I wanted to start with the high school students. When the book came out, other than the one-on-one, which was a different type of monetization, but the book came out and I started being asked to talk about personal finance and go into schools, work with organizations that have kids. I'm like, oh, wow. And then, like I said, that same year I got opened up to FinCon, which is a personal finance conference, and it just blew my mind. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many different things that I can do in the space, because clients struggle sometimes with being able to finance the coach that can help them along their way. So these other things that I did from a content creation standpoint allowed them the opportunity to get the information if they couldn't work with me one-on-one, such as the blog, such as the podcast, things like that. And then it became the monetization. So I had to first build that community. That just happened again naturally. And then once I learned by going to this conference, hearing from others, then I'm like, okay, now I understand it a little bit better of how I can monetize it. And let me put that strategy and team in place to make that happen.
I want to talk a little more about your first book. Did you work with a publisher on that book, or did you self-publish? And what surprised you about the process and the response to what you put out in the world?
So I self-published both my books. My first book, which is under my trademark name, It's My Money, and then it's a guided journal to help you manage your finances. Volume 1, which is for ages 13 to 18. It was self-published. The process was, everything about the process was explained to me. Like I kind of knew it by the people that I was working with to get through the process and had gone to it before. The one thing I wish I had done differently for volume 1 was promotion or marketing. I did not really understand how to market a book that was coming out that was self-published and what channels to do that on. So I've since wrote another and then had better success in the initial sales with that, because I learned that otherwise. The process was, when I say process, so you put your thoughts on the page, somebody then edits it. I had paid for a book cover, front cover, back cover, and spine. And my book is journal format, so I needed somebody to format it as well. And then the process of self-publishing, i.e. push and publish on the platform, was actually probably the easiest part. That was the process. But again, I'd work with people that had done it before and understood that. So that came by way of their coaching, if you will. It was that marketing piece that I dropped on. And I tell everybody that self-publishes today that you have to make sure you put not only a strategy around it, but funds around that as well.
You monetize in a lot of different ways. What are the standout products that you really enjoy, and why is that?
Oh my gosh, by far, it's being inside of a room teaching either youth or mature adults. By far, I love it inside of a room. I thrive off the energy of the room. It's my happy place by far. That not only is that my favorite one, that's my highest generating revenue item of the list of things that my company offers.
How do people know to find you? And actually, how do people know how to find you? And how did COVID impact your business? Because if you love being in front of folks and we couldn't really be in front of folks, what happened then?
Oh man, why did you have to bring the ponder? Why you had been So let me take the first part first. So again, my happy place is being in the room, and I say in the room, in person or virtually, but still by far in person. How people found me then and still find me today. I have a website. It's mymoneyjournal.info. I am my walking brand. If you could see me now, I have on an It's My Money shirt. And within my auto signature, everything where you can find me is there. Anytime I'm with someone, I intentionally wear my shirt that has my website or my social handle on the back. So I do a lot of work in making people aware of what I do and where they can find me. So that's how people find me. And I literally ask that question when people call. And sometimes it's Google. I am Googleable, if that's a word. So people find me that way as well. Now, to answer the question regarding COVID, that was huge for me. So let me tell you a couple different things. One, I came in 2019 was my highest revenue generating year in the business. One of the clients that I have was going to be a client into the upcoming year. You can't really count money that you don't have. We know this in personal finance, but there was really great, strong intentions that that would be the case in the next year. And then COVID happened in 2020. And it had a huge impact on my business. One, because when you're in business and you're doing something you love, because I really and truly love what I'm doing, and the best part about it is being in the room and that gets snatched away, it is devastating. But being the business owner and the CEO that I am, I knew I couldn't rest there, meaning I can't say, oh, no, this happened and oh, well. I had to figure out what to do next. So I was notified about the arrangement that was not going to take place in 2020 and go on pause. And then I had to figure out what do I do next? Knowing that my happy place is teaching people in groups, what do I do next? So immediately I put on my website that I was also available virtually. I started going live and talking about that. And then I created a course. I did not have a course before in the way that I do today, meaning that you can go and buy this course that has been pre-recorded. Like I didn't have that in place. I had to put that in place as an option for those that wanted it. And I had to then learn. And I say this because I really did not know the various different virtual platforms like I do today prior to that happening. So I had to get I had to go to Zoom school. I had to go to all of these schools.
So YouTube University.
Yes, exactly right. YouTube University, because I had to come forth in a very different way and started to think about how do I continue to do what I enjoy doing within the business that I created of financial education and serve the people that I wanted to serve, being that I can't get out in the room. Virtual sessions is what it was. And then I started telling people I am available virtually. I can there for your college courses, students that are at home, your employee resource groups, whatever it was, whoever wanted to teach people, their employees, their colleagues, their students, I was available to do that virtually. And I just got more comfortable with it as COVID went along. That was not a great time. The first quarter, probably the second quarter into 2020, as opposed to the first quarter, because the first quarter I was still traveling a bit, but starting in the second quarter, like I took a dive, like a real dive, because I just really liked doing that and was hoping that turnaround, the ability to go back in the room would come back sooner. But I also wanted to be safe. And I wanted my staff, I had a staff, wanted my staff to be safe. So I had to take the right precautions so that I can continue doing what I'm doing, and I just had to do it in a different way. And Michelle, believe it or not, it actually helped with the scaling of the business, because as you know, being a one woman show, you can't be everywhere every time. I was able to bring more people onto the team. So I have other financial facilitator. I have a financial facilitator. I have a little bit more of people on the team. So I was able to actually scale the business with the, not being in my happy place and kind of, creating another strategy for the environment that we're in, but also not lose the arm where I call the happy place, which is going into rooms when it was comfortable and safe to do so for me and the client.
I have an awkward question that you don't have to answer. Did you see a change in your revenue once that initial COVID impact hit and you started putting in these other products and services? Or did it take a while to see that kind of balance out?
Oh, that's not an awkward question. I took a dive, yes, I took a dive. And, now that I'm on the other side of it, it almost is like it made me stop and rethink, pull out the whiteboard. I remember my virtual assistant and I, with the whiteboard, just kind of like writing down various different things and taking off things, because I'm also one that wants to do a lot. And it was like focus, like put the focus here, there, and there. So yes, I took a dive. For those that may not know what that means, there was a lot of revenue loss, a very different 2020 than 2019. But towards the fourth quarter, because it really took like 2 quarters to kind of get it all right, understand what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. and then some stuff just ride it on, and where I'm going to put my focus and my time, which were the two important things. And once I kind of got that under wraps and then redirected things that, I had the other people that work for me doing, that freed up my time to do and focus more on the things that we put on the whiteboard. So I started to see that turnaround in fourth quarter and then continuing on as well.
Are you only doing your business, or are you also doing a 9-to-5 in addition to your business?
I am what may be called the dualpreneur. So yes, I have a 9-to-5 and I run a successful business. And I do that because I have a great team of people around me. So I have a virtual assistant, I have another financial facilitator, I have an operations manager, and I have now, well, it was 2 interns. I now have 1 intern that helps support all the activities during the 9-to-5 hours. Unless there's a revenue generating experience or opportunity for me, then that's when I show up.
How did you know when to onboard support, and what did it look like? Like, where were you going to find the different people who are helping you with your project and growing your brand?
I've been in business, as I mentioned, I started in 16. So I've been in a business. I'm now March marked my sixth year. The very first 12 months, I did everything on my own. It was long hours. It was, honey, he's making the food. I'm eating by myself, doing something else. For me, again, this actually was attributed to some to COVID when it came to that time, but it was like, I need time back in my day. It wasn't that I couldn't do a lot of the activities. It was like, those weren't the activities, one, that was my lane. That just not was my lane. My lane is being in the room, showing up, do what I do. The administration of the emails and the platforms and doing all the stuff, the platforms, meaning the platforms that my business run on, and the QuickBooks and all that stuff. Like, that's just not my lane. And it took me more time to complete tasks that people that are on the team now can do, like, with their eyes closed. In the first year, I did everything by myself. The second year, I brought on interns. They were paid interns, and they were called interns just because they were younger and they were trying to get more experience in the space. And I met them through opportunities that I had with the YWCA. So the YWCA locally hired me, so they were my client, as a financial facilitator for their young women's leadership group. And that group of people I would meet with 5 weeks in the summer. Those individuals took a liking to me and stayed following with me. So when those opportunities came about, they were the first ones that raised their hands. They went through an interview process and they became interns of mine that were working in person, because I had an actual office that my staff worked in pre-COVID. That's how I found the first group of people. And then we got into the COVID phase, and then they went, one of them has graduated from Spelman, another one is in her third year. I then need a little bit more experienced staff. So I got a very awesome virtual assistant. Oh my gosh, she was amazing. I had a virtual assistant, and then I needed other things. Like, I needed somebody to edit my podcast. I needed somebody to edit the YouTube. So it became, what do I have going on? What can the virtual assistant do? What can the intern, because I have another paid intern on the team, a few hours a week. What can't they do that's needed, not wanted, but needed within the business? And I filled the holes that way. I have a huge community by way of email. I have a Facebook group, Instagram. So through those communities that I would bring awareness to the things I was looking for. And sometimes I got the positions that way.
I wasn't going to ask this, but I'm curious. What was it like building a community versus just having content out there?
I call my community the squad. It's my money squad. So I just shorten it to the squad. I started with putting content out there. Then the community became the people that were always engaging with the content. The community became the people that, not purchasers always. So they were the community that was interested in the content. So there's a lot of people that view the content, but then there's people that engage with the content. It's the people that go to the next level with me. So I may put something on Instagram or my personal Facebook page, and then I may tell people to redirect them somewhere else. The people that go to the redirected place, those are the people that I would say are the community, right? So that's how they got into my group. That's how they are on my email distribution, because I would bring awareness to the fact that I had a group or had an email list where I send a weekly newsletter every Thursday. And people that took that action, they are what I call are within the community. So I have followers and then I have community. So that's how I would define the two. People that are interested in my data, just take a look at it, may like it or not. People that take action or do the call to action and not sell. I'm not talking about sell, the call to action to go to the other place, the group, or sign up for my newsletter to be on my email list. Those are people that are within the community. The purchasers are a whole nother subset.
One of the things I wanted to talk about in today's episode with you is just the role of affiliate marketing. And part of the reason why I wanted to talk about affiliate marketing in particular is I love affiliate marketing, but I've noticed that there are some interesting and slightly weird ideas about what affiliate marketing is and the role it can play in someone's business. If you could kind of share how you view affiliate marketing, if it has a place within your business, and just some thoughts about what people should consider, I would love that.
Affiliate marketing is the promotion of other folks' courses, products, and services. I mean, literally, it's that one sentence. It is not multi-level marketing. It is not blessing looms. It's not any of those things. It's not pyramids. It's the promotion of other folks' courses, products, and services. And it absolutely fits with my business. I love affiliate marketing so much. I can't even tell you. I created a course around it because that's how much I love it. So many people ask me about it because I was amazed by the revenue that I generated from affiliate marketing. I would post about it. And then again, people, my community kind of directs me to which courses to create because it's everything that they're asking for. I give as much general information as possible. And then as they want to go deeper, that becomes a course. I love it so much, Michelle. It is in 2021, I had several four-figure months, four figures meaning earning four figures from affiliate marketing alone. In January of 2022, the first week of January, I made four figures. Now, that being said, in February, I did not hit four figures, but that's okay because my goal is for the balance of the year to have the rest of the months to be four figures, if not five figures. I'm waiting to hit my five figures. So yes, absolutely. If you are a blogger, a YouTuber, if you own a phone or a computer, affiliate marketing can be for you. And especially if you have a community, because basically you are sharing services, products, books, courses, either that you have taken or you know people, the people that have the courses, books, or services. So it's easier to talk about them. So it's just recommending those things to that person, to those people by way of your specific link that you're given by the creator of the items that you're promoting. And if a purchase is made, you get money from that. And a lot of people, not just small business owners and course creators, I'm talking companies as well, rather have a percent of something sold or more sold than 100% of less sold. So people would be open to going to your community that they may not get otherwise by way of you sharing, getting a link, and then getting a portion of that sale as opposed to only their community and potentially getting 100%, but sales are less because they just don't have all of the people in their community. And that's why it's widely successful.
I love that you mentioned the MLM piece. That was actually kind of what I was alluding to. I find it very strange with the MLM idea where people perceive it in this way, just because typically with affiliate marketing, it's a product that people are searching for, and the person sharing the product is experienced with it, and they're like, it's good or bad. I mean, that's pretty much been my experience with affiliate marketing is when people share their affiliates, it's either a solution to my problem or it's not. And typically, even though people have skin in the game in the sense that, yes, they could potentially receive some money if you purchase, a lot of times I'll have people say, look, this is not a product that I think you should go for. And this is why. This is my experience. And so I think it could be a really good way for people to make a much more informed spending decision. Why do you think people have this weird MLM thing in their head when it comes to affiliate marketing specific to online content creators?
I think it's education. Simply put, what you just did, like if people aren't aware, that's why I was so happy to do this episode. If they aren't aware of what it is, if they don't take the time to figure out the difference between the two, they don't know. I feel like an assumption is being made. And oftentimes I post, even on the various different social platforms, affiliate marketing is not ML. It's not an MLM. I don't know. I mean, we can have a lot of different guesses here. I know I try to do the best I can by sharing with those within my community and otherwise that it's not the same. And I tell folks even that take my course, don't try to be an affiliate of everything and start with the things that you actually use. Like, for example, like I'm an affiliate of HoneyBook. I actually use HoneyBook within my business and love it. So I talk about it in a way that makes people interested about it because it's really genuine feelings that I have about it. Also share with them that if you are an affiliate and you have different platforms and sort of language that you need to include within that to make people aware. But I think it's one of the easiest passive income streams that one can have. And I'm reaping the benefit. And every time I learn something like overall personal finance and now affiliate marketing, I want to share it with the masses. Like there's enough out here for everyone. People are doing different things. One person who took my course actually was looking for a solution to standing eggs up. Like she raises chickens and she was looking for that solution and she couldn't find it. Once she found it, she became an affiliate of that and she shares it with everybody. I think people have to think of affiliate marketing is not defined in the silo of this thing, that thing, and that thing. It's businesses and companies that want to sell more of their products, services, books, courses. You just have to connect with the right person that right business, service, or product, not just small business owners, larger companies as well. And once you make that connection and have that partnership in place, then you go and promote it to whomever. You don't have to be a blogger. You don't have to be a podcaster. You have to own a phone and potentially have an email. The link can be text. It can be emails. If you have an email distribution, obviously that's a wider opportunity for you, or social platforms.
What are 3 easy things we can do to monetize our platform via affiliate marketing?
I would say that if you're a content creator, you have a great opportunity. And one thing that you can do is think about the services or products that you use today. Like, as I mentioned, HoneyBook, QuickBook, things that you do today. See if there's an affiliate opportunity there. Most of these businesses will have their information on their homepage or their website. If it's not very overt on the homepage and go all the way down to the bottom to the smaller language, it may say partnership, affiliate relationships, referrals, something like that. And just establish the relationship. Some may bring you to a platform to do that, but just go and do it. It's not like you have to have a video interview or anything like that. Since you're a content creator, you probably have information out there. So you would have to, on a platform, you would have to put like somewhat of a profile out there, but it's wickedly easy. So one, I would say, start with the relationships that you already have today, the platforms or services that you're already paying for, and see if they have an option. The second thing I would do is don't put the link, once you establish that link, don't just do it one time. Like, put that link in various different content that you have available and talk about it in a very natural and general way. So if you love dogs and you establish a relationship with a cat product, like, that's not going to seem natural because that's just not what you normally talk about, nor do you have a fondness for cats. It may sound like you're selling as opposed to naturally talking about something and referring somebody to. And the other is have a strategy, right? So if you're going to do it, have a strategy. This is what you've decided to do to have a level of monetization within your content. Then you want to have a strategy on how you're going to do it. Is it going to be in a newsletter? Is it going to be a blog? Is it going to be something you text out? However you're going to do it. Know what you're doing and when you're doing it. And then the last piece, I know you said 3, execute. There's a lot of people that get a lot of information through courses, podcasts, etc. They have a lot of notes, but they don't execute. So execute, execute, execute.
I love that. I hear that from a lot of people all the time. And in fact, what I notice is a lot of people spend time thinking about the process or the logic behind what they're trying to do or systems, but they don't execute. And then it's like a month later and we circle back. I'm like, have you done that thing? And they're like, well, I'm still like working on X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, it seems like you could just get started.
Join Julian Sanders, Janice Torres-Rodriguez, Jason Vitug, and more at the Plutus Impact Summit, a virtual event for financial content creators and influencers, on July 22nd and 23rd. See all the sessions and register for free at plutusimpact.com.
Could you talk about affiliate marketing via your podcast? Because you do have a podcast. Do you use that as part of your affiliate strategy? And when did you start doing that?
Absolutely. And if it can, may I make a comment on the other thing you just said before I answer that?
Absolutely.
This is, again, something that I'm sharing more with people that are starting out, or I'm having conversations like this. Just start. My first podcast episode does not sound like my last podcast episode. The equipment used then versus the equipment used now. My first blog, the way it reads versus the ones that are out there today. So you don't even know what to perfect until you put something out in the universe to see how it is and how it's being reacted to. So you don't know what to change or if you need to. So just do it. Wanted to make sure I say that. Absolutely. I monetize my podcast by way of affiliate marketing. The way that I do this, so either the guests that are on my show, if they have a product or service that I can become an affiliate of, I establish that relationship. And within my show notes, I put the affiliate links there. Both the guest and I will talk, again, naturally talk about what the person has going on. And then I always say, make sure you drop down in the show notes and click the link. That link that they're clicking is my affiliate link for that person's, whatever it is, course, service, book, product. So that's there. So I do that both on my podcast and I'm leveraging my podcast through YouTube as well. So it's there as well. So let me qualify. I don't have guests come on my show because I want affiliate relationship to be able to have somebody linked to. If the guest happens to have something that I can become an affiliate of, I absolutely make that connection prior to dropping the episode. And again, the affiliate links are in the show notes.
You talked about having a YouTube platform. I'm curious about how you've created this very, very interesting ecosystem, quite honestly, for your content. Yeah. What role does YouTube play in your monetization strategy? And I'm assuming you're also using affiliates within that content as well.
I am. So I do. The way that I leverage YouTube is in two ways. When I record podcast episodes, I record them on Zoom. And I use the video from those recordings on my YouTube platform. And then the audio is for the podcast platform. So all the audio platforms like SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that gets all of the audio that's edited by my operations manager. The raw content, raw video content gets put on my YouTube channel. And then I create show notes along with the affiliate links that go into that information. So I sort of leverage that podcast episode in two ways. I take the video, put it on YouTube, and I take the audio and go across my podcast platform. The other thing that I do on YouTube is I do small educational videos, like the last couple I just did on budgeted envelopes or what budgeting is. So they're very short, less than 10 minutes. I put those up there, and inside of those are also affiliate links. For example, budgeting, I talked about budgeting and what that is and budgeting envelopes. And I have a relationship with an electronic budgeted envelope company, and that link is there. Any way that I can leverage my relationships. And let me just tell another quick tip. I have an Excel spreadsheet that my assistant keeps on my behalf, and it has all of the affiliate relationships I have, as well as my specific links, affiliate links for those relationships, even the percentages that I get if I make a sale, if you will. And anytime I write a blog or have a show, we pull the affiliate relationship that aligns with whatever it is that I'm talking about. Not every single one has an affiliate relationship, but I darn sure try to make sure that everyone does.
Oh, man.
So that's how I do it. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. Let me see which ones align and then use those accordingly. That's how I started the YouTube channel. I'm not completely there by monetizing it from a YouTube monetization perspective, like with ads yet. So if you're listening, please subscribe so you can help me. But anyway, I'm not there yet, but I do leverage the show note links, and I see the revenue generation that comes from, because now, before I didn't used to look at when I'm getting that the affiliate revenue. I just would know that it comes in by way of the bookkeeper data that I get. But now I'm like, okay, what did I do? When I see it go really, really high, I'm looking at what did I do so I can do a little bit more of that. So I'm a little bit more in tune with when it comes in and from which source. And then I just rinse and repeat.
Do you use a different pretty link so that you can track where it's coming from? So for example, if you're using HoneyBook as an affiliate, do you have a pretty link for YouTube and a different pretty link for your website? Or is it the same link and you just kind of can figure out which place the money is coming from when it's converting?
Yeah, no, it's manual. But you're making me think about it. I need to do it in that way. I do not do that. And that was something that actually was shared with me probably a month ago. That's on the to-do page. I do not do it in that way. I do have a bookkeeper that looks at my books on a regular basis, and that's how we figure it out right now. But I do need to change that process, and hopefully I'll be able to do that soon. So no, it's just by manual looking where it's coming in and what it's from right now.
We're starting to wrap up the conversation, and I love everything about this. I can't wait to go over it and listen again. How do you know what's a good fit for your community? Yes, there are the products that you love and that kind of thing, but how do you know when something you love isn't actually something that's going to be a good fit for your community versus something that is?
This goes back to the word community, right? These are the people that I'm talking to all the time, and they are talking to me, right? So they are telling me what they're looking for. I actually post a lot of questions within my Facebook community as well as my email distribution. So those pain points come across to me, and I either create a course for it accordingly or get an affiliate relationship accordingly. Last year in 2021, I did what's called Lunch and Learn through my Facebook community. It was free for them to attend. Not everybody could attend, not my whole community, just to pay. I did this for the Facebook. And the 10, because we did it once a month, the 10 Lunch and Learns that I did was by way of what the community told me that they wanted. So I went out and found that resource and became an affiliate. So that's how I found out. So that's why I believe community is really important, because they're going to tell you their pain points. They're going to ask you the questions that they come through, help me to determine what it is that they're looking for. And then I will ask the next. So I'm just trained to do that, ask the next question so I can get really under the covers with that. And then I bring forth the information. So it becomes almost a no-brainer. They're not asking me for the solution. They're telling me the problem. I'm finding the solution and putting that forward. And then some of them execute on what is brought forth. And that's really how it's done. It's that community. I spend a lot of time within there, probably more time than some in communities, but I spend a lot of time in the community. Some of them I know personally. Some of them, it's funny. I remember getting some ice cream last summer and somebody's like, oh my gosh, you're the one that does the squad. Like, I'm in your community. So some people I know locally, and those are the things that come forth. As a matter of fact, that particular that engagement live in person, she had a young son there eating. It prompted me to ask my community about how many people live in Connecticut that was in the community. So I got that answer. And then I got how many are moms. I do a lot within, and that information is powerful to me. I use that for putting forth things that are necessary.
I want to ask about creating community, because I think there are some folks who are a little hesitant because of the time that it can take to do it. What are some things that you would recommend for people who are kind of on the fence and they do know that it's a worthwhile thing to do, but they're really worried about the time involved, and also maybe having other people kind of swoop in and try to sell within the group?
And, so the last part you just said, I actually had that situation happen. And here's what I would say about that before I answer the first is, you can't be everywhere all the time. There are people that are going to do that. You're going to get yours. If that's what a person needs to do, eventually, that kind of karma will come back to them. So a couple things that I'll share with you regarding building the community, and this is specifically on Facebook. There may be other ways that people do it on other platforms. Right now, my community, what I call community, is the Facebook and those on my email distribution. The Facebook one, there's questions that are asked before you get in. Twofold part there. I want to understand a little bit of what you're looking for to be a part of this community. And then secondly, I want you to be on my email distribution. So if you answer both of those questions, one, you get a part of the community within the group, and then also the email distribution. I always talk about email distribution and Facebook separately, because there are people that are on my email distribution that are not on Facebook or any social platform for that matter. So again, you have to know that. And remember, this has been now, so I've been in business 6 years, probably Facebook and community wise, maybe like a 2-year thing. So I haven't been doing that as long as I've been in business. So you ask a couple questions coming in. 2, you have to stay engaged. If you think it's a lot of time, it is. But if you enjoy what you do and understand that you are trying to build a community and it's worth it and understanding the ROI on that, the return on investment on that, then it won't be work. And you can have somebody come in the community and be an administrator with you or for you. So that's another way you can leverage, the interns or virtual assistants or whoever you have on your team. To me, community is important. It's wickedly important. One, even if there aren't your purchasers, they help you with research, market research, and they help you with brand awareness. So even if they don't buy from you, they know who you are and what you're doing. I have people that will tell me about other opportunities. I don't know if they ever purchase from me or not, but they're in my community. They know what I do. They know what my mission is and who I want to serve. And when they see opportunities like that come about, they'll DM me or send me a separate email to let me know that. So that's why, again, community is important. Sometimes people, they may not need what you have to sell, but they are very, very committed to what you're doing. And when they know of an opportunity, they're bringing it forth your way. I believe the time is worth it. You don't have to do it alone. You can get some support in doing that. Go to local high schools or colleges to get support that way. If you need it, make sure you know whoever is going to be an administrator for you in any capacity. Make sure they completely understand what you're trying to accomplish and get them to work in that way and stay connected to the community. It doesn't mean you need to be on there all day long. I already mentioned I have a 9 to 5, so I can't be on there all day long. But the time that I set to be on there, I'm really in there. I'm engaging. I'm congratulating people when they're sharing stories. My group talks about money that they save, bills that they paid off. I'm congratulating, encourage others to congratulate. So a lot of them are transparent in there, and they do that because they find it a place where they feel like folks will continue to hold them accountable and or congratulate them on a success that they've had.
I love this. I could talk to you about this for another hour, but I'm going to hold back. If you could share how we can follow you, support you, and just where you are out there in the digital world, that would be wonderful.
Awesome. So first of all, Michelle, thank you so much for having me. So I know you're a personal finance money nerd as well. I can talk about this all day. I thank you for the opportunity to come on and share. Again, my name is Patrina Dixon. Across the social streets, I'm at It's My Money _. That's on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. It's My Money _ at It's My Money _. My website is itsmymoneyjournal.info, not .com. So again, itsmymoneyjournal.info. Between the social handle as well as my website, you can find everything else that I talked about. All of them have links or access to either my podcast, which is The Money Exchange, or my YouTube channel, which is It's My Money with Patrina Dixon.
All right, everyone, we need you to start working on that affiliate marketing. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to Patrina. Patrina, again, thank you so much. And I wish you all the best.